You have worked in top restaurants across Europe and USA. How was this experience influenced? How has this experience influenced your culinary style?
So obviously, when you travel to different countries, you get inspired, and you also get inspired when you work in different kitchens. That's the reason when you have to become a good chef, you have to travel the world. You have to work at multiple restaurants to get the knowledge and experience you need to have to move towards becoming a more competent chef. So I would say, had I not taken these jobs around Europe and in America, I would be in a different positions than I am now. It taught me different ingredients, techniques, but also a way of managing a kitchen. And again, when you work different places, you remember and you take the things that you think make sense for you, and then you save those in your backpack, and then you can unpack when you're done with your journeys, and then you add all the things you learned from those places that you think that made sense, and then you would add them at your restaurant to make it just the way you want it to be. So I think it's a big part of working those places is to get knowledge about ingredients, techniques, and also way of doing things.
Your menu is inspired by old cookbooks and descriptions from novels. Can you give us some specific examples of dishes that were born from such sources?
Yeah, I would say if you look into like medieval cookbooks or whenever where they did sort of things that was baked into things, there's examples of I think it's a duck that has a chicken and it has a quail and it has like multiple things into it, and then you bake it and then you sort of unwrap it. So I got very inspired about these recipes and way of cooking where there was sort of anticipation on what was the revealing going to show you. So I really like that when you come to the table and you present something that you don't 100% know what's going to happen, and when you sort of open up, there's a different thing inside than you expected.
Do you have anything similar in your current menu?
We often have fish that's baked in a salt dough, not in a salt crust, but like in a dough, sort of the same that you would use if you as a child. You can push your hand into and you can bake it in the oven, and then you have the it shows your hand. So we almost always have where we have turbot that's put into a dough, baked in the oven, and then we come to the table, take the cast off, and the steam and the flavors and the smell, all of that fills the room, and I can see when we serve it that it's something that excites people and something they hadn't expected.
What is one essential ingredient you couldn't cook without?
Being French inspired, I would say butter is very important, but also lately I moved towards using more olive oil. Specifically, we found a producer in Basque, northern Spain, that does a very acidic, mild olive oil that I like to use. So I'm probably turning towards using more olive oil, but still butter is the main ingredient.
Your restaurant has an impressive history. How do you combine tradition with innovation in your current menu?
I always start with tradition, and then I think like, how can I change this in a direction so it can become better? And I feel becoming better. I feel like, how can I simplify it and what flavors can I add to make it more interesting? And that's where my inspiration from Asia, or at least it is right now, comes to hand. Is that I try to add Asian flavors in small amounts in the menu to sort of surprise the customers.
You work with local ingredients like shrimp from the fjord and turbot from the North Sea. How do you select your suppliers and what standards must they meet?
First of all, I never look at price. I only focus on the highest quality. So when you remove that factor that's called money, and you just look on who has the absolute best product, then I would say you're very likely to get the best product, because price determined quality. And when you accept that that is the fact, then you're sure to succeed. So I would say I look very much into, is it a person I can trust who is supplying this here? How does the quality look? And then after that we talk about the price.
How do your suppliers look like? Are they like small businesses or?
As it is in all of this here, it's very often that the best suppliers are the smallest ones that are sort of struggling to have everything in hand, and most of the time they are not really. It's just having an operation that just barely runs around because they're so passionate and they only want to have the best ingredients. So those are the people that I want to support as well, because people who invest their whole life into having the best ingredient and every week they deliver at the same level is people that I want to support.
In a world where gastronomy is rapidly evolving, how do you see the future of Michelin-starred restaurants?
I think it's going to go the opposite direction of what it is now. I think it's going to go more back to traditional cooking and based on technique. I think it's a general thing you would see that it has a loop, then new things come, it has a period of time, and then suddenly it turns back to where it all started. And I think we're sort of on the way back to traditional cooking again, and not so modern, as I would say. Yeah.